All right.
Well, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining the table read. I'm Nate. I've been doing some events coordinating with the Guild, and yeah, we're super excited to read A Night in Fog by Jeff Harman. Yeah, most of you probably know the Northwest Screenwriters Guild. We're all about promoting writing as a career out of the Pacific Northwest, and yeah, so this is something we do about every 3 months, and yeah, we're really excited to put this on. So yeah, I'm gonna hand it off to Sky. She's the table read coordinator, and she'll kind of introduce herself, and then Jeff a little bit more, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Thanks, Nate. Hi, everyone. Really excited to be doing this table read this evening. My name is Sky Gilbert Yoden. I am the table read coordinator for the Northwest Screenwriters Guild, and we generally started the table readings last year. We tend to run them roughly quarterly and have settled into a rhythm where we generally feature scripts by compendium members and select them by lottery. This quarter, we've selected Jeff's screenplay, A Night in Fog. Jeff Harman graduated from Central Washington University's film program and has been a screenwriter, a frequent face at the Wednesday Scene Analysis Group. This is his third feature-length screenplay and his first horror, and the Table Read Group's first table read of a horror script. So we are going to be trying some new things as we do that, so stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jeff to introduce what inspired him to write this script, and then we'll go ahead and do some brief intros for the actors, and then we'll go right into the table read after that. So Jeff Harman, please, be great to hear from you. What inspired you to write A Night in Fog?
Thanks, Sky. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Harman. I am the writer of A Night in Fog. I joined the Northwest Screenwriters Guild in, I think, 2018, and I was selected to become a compendium member in 2021, and it was actually this script that got me into the compendium membership program, a much older draft of this, and it's interesting to see how the script has come along since then. Let me see, I wrote this down. Inspiration is a difficult thing for me sometimes. Finding ideas for stories and outlining can be a little difficult. But this story has pretty humble origins. It just came to me as I was exposing myself to horror as a genre over the past few years. And what's weird is that I don't consider myself a horror fan even now, as I'm writing a horror script and people like it. But I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity to tell a story that spoke to me, and that's what I've been trying to do with the script.
Thanks, Jeff. All right, and we'll just do a quick round of actor name introductions and character. You will get a chance to hear a bit more from the actors and what they're working on at the end. So if you are left wanting more, that is totally okay. You will be satisfied at the end of the table read. I'm going to go ahead and do this by actor last name. So Georgina.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the table read. My name is Georgina Black. I am a local actor. I am playing the character of Jane.
Thank you. Duncan.
Hi there. My name is Duncan Starbosco. I am an actor, production designer, and writer myself. I'm playing Theo.
Michael.
Hello, I'm Michael Crowley. I'm a Seattle-based actor. I'm going to be playing 4 characters tonight. Brian, Doc Hoffman, Jerome, and the Judge.
Tessie.
Hello. Hi, my name is Tessie Arasti, and I'm going to be reading the narrator number 1.
This is going to challenge my alphabet skills. Antonio.
Hello all, my name is Antonio Mitchell. I am a Seattle-based actor, and I'll be reading narrator 2 and Avery.
Dean.
Yes, hi, my name is Dean Moody. I am a voice artist headquartered in Bellingham, Washington. And I will be reading Father Clifford this evening, along with a couple of monster sounds in the background. So happy to be here, and thank you for joining us.
And Gabriella, bring us home.
Hello, I'm Gabriella Noble, and I'm going to be reading Rachel, Diane, Jane's mother, and female DJ.
Thank you. All right. Cast whenever you are ready.
Night in Fog by Jeff Harman. Fading. Exterior fog street, night. Small town Americana in the Pacific Northwest under the veil of a starless night. Mist permeates every cubic foot of air. The lone street light flickers. The shadow of a woman trudges down the center of the barren road. A child's cry pierces the silence. The woman speeds up to a jog, head darting in every direction, a vain search for the noise. Gas station. The lights flicker inside the station. It's derelict. The woman continues on to the local church. Candlelight wavers in the small windows. Nothing to see here. Marketplace. The woman sizes the building up. Is the child in there? A child's laughter. Not in the marketplace. Down the road. Exterior, residential street, night. Small homes flank each side of the street, maintaining only an outline in the misty air. The woman slows to a walk. Where to start her search? The road ends. A home grander than the others looms where the asphalt stops. She pauses. Only this home remains. The front door creaks open. An inky void darker than the night greets the woman. She mounts the porch steps. The sign reads, Toluca House. She reveals her phone, turns flashlight mode on. The light can't penetrate the black interior of the house. She walks right up to the edge of the door frame, tries to examine the inside. Interior, exterior, Toluca House, night. Nothing but the black void awaits her. She enters with cautious steps, the door closing on its own volition. The only sound, her panting. Only the LED light is visible in the black. Theo, is that you? The LED light winks out of existence.
Interior, cheap motel room, night. Jane lies in bed, mid-30s and overworked. A suburban woman venturing into the rural areas of Washington state. She matches well with the room. Her eyes fly open. She sits up, rubs them. Pajamas are Goodwill grade, freighted from use. She reaches for her phone, notes the time on the alarm clock, 2:12 a.m.
Stupid headache.
Interior, motel room, bathroom, continuous. Jane splashes sink water on her face, wipes a dry cloth over her visage. She meets her own eyes in the mirror, stares, blinks. Interior, cheap motel room, continuous. Jane dresses herself for travel, everything affordable. One suitcase holds up clothing and a meager personal items. Jane zips it up. She notices something on the floor, her cheesy supervisor name tag. Jane picks it up, examines it.
Flashback, restaurant. This eatery is nicer than fast food, but not fancy. Jane, dressed in her supervisor uniform, peruses the occupied tables and staff. One table is occupied by Brian and Diane, Washington State outdoors folks by any other name, accompanied by their toddler and another couple.
Diane and I went hiking near this town in the sticks once, the town called Fog. Every night, thick fog envelops the whole town, hence the name.
Jane huffs, grabs a pitcher of water, approaches their table.
I thought we'd get a good spooky haunting in while we stayed. Like maybe a ghost would haunt us.
You read too many Stephen King books.
We didn't see any spirits, but the Native Americans sure did.
Not this again.
A local told me the whole thing. They believed in Beyantha, a trickster god living under the earth.
How are we all doing today?
Good.
Good, great. My husband thinks these scary stories about that town are just so amusing.
Hey, the locals feared Beyantha with their lives. Scared the kids into staying home at night.
Let us know if we can get you anything for you guys, okay?
Anyway, I had this dream about it.
Jane heads back to the kitchen. Jane reveals a shot bottle from her apron. She takes a swig. Zzz. Her phone. Stares at the screen, eyes wide. She presses the screen, puts the phone to her ear.
Jane, my darling, if this reaches you, I want you to know that I still love you and your brother. No matter the hell we went through, your childhood years with him, I would never let my real family fade away. I still remember meeting my grandson, your baby Nate, for the first time. A little angel. He's 8 right now, and I know because I got him out of that horrible home he was put in. No child could be happy there. He is with me now in the town of Fog. You know the place, right? Well, I'm there now, and we're both so excited to see you again. Please visit soon, my darling, so we can be whole again. Goodbye.
End flashback. Jane frowns, disgusted. Zzz. Jane throws the name tag in the trash with a few empty shot bottles of whiskey, grabs her phone. On screen. Did you hear about Nate? Avery. Exterior, cheap motel, parking lot, night. The night has no stars. Only one sedan occupies the parking lot of the El Rey Motel. Affordable, free HBO. Jane packs her luggage in the rear of the sedan, closes the door. She dials a number on her phone. Thumb hovers over the call button. She presses it, puts the phone in her ear.
About time. What's going on, Jane?
Nothing since I got the message from her. I tried calling, but she never picks up.
Wow.
Yeah, that was 2 days ago.
I haven't heard from her since she left the hospital 3 years ago. That was the last of it. And now this stunt.
Did she tell you anything about Nate?
No, but I don't know how she got a hold of him.
Yeah, I got that drift too.
Let me know how this plays out.
He's our son, Avery.
He is. Yeah.
Fine. I'll be getting Nate real soon. Just meet me there, okay?
I'm going to be in that neck of the woods. It's right by the deer hunting grounds. If something happens, you can call me.
Sure.
Bye.
Jane hangs up, studies the motel. No one else home, not even lights behind curtains. She walks up to the office door, peeks in. No one. Jane leaves the room, keys at the base of the door.
Interior, exterior, Jane's car, night. Jane drives along a secluded paved road. With every passing tree and shrub, dark fog thickens the air. Jane hits the radio.
What is up, all you late night cowboys? I'm DJ Mason, and tonight we'll be turning up the grunge. You 90s kids are going to love this one.
A grunge song emanates from the car speakers.
Flashback, cell phone video. A Seattle bar, the kind that blares grunge and serves affordable drinks. Jane and Avery, younger by 9 years, laugh and knock bad shots.
Best ride ever, right?
Don't boss me around, nice guy.
She cackles.
Maybe we should call it a night.
I could use a lie down with you.
Whoa, someone's direct.
You betcha, big guy.
Oh, so I went from nice to big in seconds? I like the sound of that.
And flashback. A faint smirk plays over Jane's face, a reprieve of youthful memories in the black night.
Interior, exterior. Jane's car. Night. Jane drives on through the unending foggy nightscape.
Blast from the past. Am I right or am I right? Anywho, a break before the next set.
2 red lights up ahead. On the side of the road. She drives by the car, slows. She cuts the radio, looks in her rearview mirror. Someone emerges from the sedan driver's side. The form of a woman not unlike her in stature. The woman stares at her car, signals for a lift. Jane backs up, yanks the parking brake, rolls down the front passenger window. Do her eyes deceive her?
Thank God. I'm really sorry to ask you, but could I hitch a ride?
Rachel could be Jane's twin. Same age, face, eyes, skin tone, and hair. Just with nicer clothes and makeup. They exchange quizzical glances for a moment.
You look like someone I know.
Do I? Sorry, my name is Rachel. My car broke down. I was fixing to sleep in the back seat tonight.
I'm on my way to Fog.
Oh, cool. I live there, but I can't walk the whole way tonight.
Jane contemplates.
Whatever powers the heat in my car, it conked out. Kind of chilly.
Get what you need and throw it in the back.
Oh, it's not the end of the world if I'm cold.
Oh, it's okay. I think it's a 5-minute drive.
I was so worried. Thank you.
Rachel runs back to her car, grabs a bag from the back, locks her car, returns. Later, Rachel sits shotgun as Jane drives.
You must be a city girl. You drive like one.
Family stuff brought me.
Same. I was traveling on business for a while, but now I'm home.
Can't say I've ever lived in the sticks. Not for me.
For real? I grew up in these woods.
I'd be worried about something like Bigfoot coming out of the woods to eat me.
He's not real. Trust me.
What about Biantha, the trickster god?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, never mind. Just a folk legend I heard.
A few seconds of silent driving.
I'm looking for my mother. Don't suppose you know her?
Fog is a small place. I might.
Imagine me if I was 63 and I smoked in my 20s, but I quit when I had kids. The years are showing.
Sorry, no bells ringing.
Out the windshield, they pass a sign. Welcome to Fog, Washington, a magic place.
A magic place.
Finding my son would be magic. My mom says she has my boy with her.
A shame he's not with you.
Long story, drunk hubby, divorce, the like.
But you have a son. That's something to be truly grateful for.
People tell me that a lot. Gets annoying.
I see. Well, my son is waiting for me. He's sick somehow. Fell ill while I was away.
Oh no.
It'll be okay. I'll help him get better.
The worrying is the hardest part. When you're away from your kid, you feel helpless.
Lights appear in the fog, the lights of civilization.
Here we are. Can you pull over?
Sure.
Nice night for a walk.
It's freezing out.
I grew up here. This is my domain.
Right? See ya?
Rachel closes the door, walks off. Jane drives by, gets a wave. She scrunches her forehead, shakes away any discomfort. Exterior, Fog Street, night. The fog chokes the air. Jane and her car are the only visible signs of life or activity in the town. Up ahead, the gas station comes into view. Jane pulls into the lot, parks by one of the pumps. Interior, gas station store, night. Jane enters the convenience store, scans the area. No one.
Hello?
No answer. Jane trots along the aisles, checks the counter. She's alone. She walks the aisles, grabs some snacks and a soda bottle, placing them on the counter. Waits.
I'm ready.
Nothing. Static from the radio behind the counter. Jane leans over, examines it.
Mom.
Jane furrows her brow, not sure what she's hearing. Screech! Jane whips around, sees nothing. She wanders to the back storage.
Interior, gas station, storage, continues. The fluorescents flicker. Jane passes the bathroom door. Tiptoeing down the hall, she spots an office window. She approaches. Jane gazes through the window at the attendant's body. Lies in pieces amid a floor coated in blood. She gasps. Crunch. Jane looks to her left. Down the hall, a trickle of blood trail leads to the garage. She gulps, sneaks along the blood trail. The door to the garage. Jane peeks around a doorframe, beholds the faceless creature, a humanoid of brown, turgid flesh with severed hands replaced by bloody cleavers, kneeling over the attendant's leg. A small proboscis emerges from its face, sucks up some blood. The faceless creature stops, stands upright. It turns. If it had eyes, it would stare right at Jane. Jane hides behind the doorframe, no noise for several seconds. The creature shuffles to the office door. Jane does a 180, flees down the hall at the dead run. The creature busts through the door, lumbers after her. Jane busts out of in the gas station store. She sprints down the nearest aisle to the counter. Thud, thud. The monster's footsteps approach.
Exterior gas station night. Jane barrels out of the doors into the night. She steals a glance over her shoulder. Faceless creature rumbles through the store. It strides to the doors, smashes the glass. Jane runs to her car, tries to find her keys. The creature demolishes the door. It rounds the gas station pumps, faces Jane. It stops, faces her, scrapes its cleavers together. An arrow flies through the air, sticks in the creature's arm, and whistles. Father Clifford, a local priest in his 40s, runs at the monster with a metal baseball bat.
Hey!
He smashes the bat into the creature's featureless face. It whistles. Clifford dodges a cleaver, strikes again with the bat. He stands between Jane and the creature. Another bolt strikes the creature in the head. Doc Hoffman, retired medical doctor stuck in the boonies, grabs another arrow from his hunting bow. The creature stumbles back, mews in pain. Father Clifford swings the bat at the creature, hits one of the cleavers. The creature takes a swipe with the other cleaver, sails right by Clifford's face. Another arrow buries itself in the creature's leg. The monster mews, stumbles back. Jane cowers at the rear of her car, glances over the truck.
Follow me.
The three of them run across the street. The creature recovers from the pain. The creature lumbers after them. They arrive at the church doors. Father Clifford rustles his keys, unlocks the door. Everyone rushes inside and he slams them shut.
Here, your local church continues. The three enter the church, the quorum not maintained. Father Clifford unlocks the door behind him. Thud, thud, thud. Then nothing. Jane takes in the sight of a church turned into a shelter. Sleeping bags lie between pews. Stacks of canned foods and supplies surround the altar. Lanterns adorn the interior, leaving paltry light for the occupants.
What the hell was that thing? It killed someone.
Language.
Right, sorry. I haven't been in one of these since... It's been years. Thanks. I dropped somebody off on the same road I came down. Did you see her?
I don't think so. Another one?
She was walking this way.
We don't have much food left, not for others.
Now everyone is welcome in my church, Dr. Hoffman.
We don't know how much food is left in this town.
I understand, but a life is a life.
Thank you, Father. How on earth are there no bars?
We're not sure. The internet's gone too.
Even in a town like this has to have a few cops, right? Maybe the next one?
My remaining parishioners are all here right now. It's been that way for 2 weeks. No one else remains to my knowledge.
Then where did the town go?
We have no idea.
Why can't we wait until tomorrow? We can drive to another town and tell the police everything.
Word glances.
When did you arrive in town, Miss
Jane, and 10 minutes ago.
Wipes brow.
This will sound bizarre, Jane, but it's been night for 2 weeks.
No joke. When I woke up at 7 a.m. 2 weeks ago, it was pitch black.
The nighttime fog this town's been named for has been here ever since.
Enough. I am not okay right now. I almost died.
Neither of us are joking.
Well, it would seem that one could enter, but not leave this place. I tried riding a bicycle out of town not long after. Well, 10 minutes later, I found myself back in town, having biked a straight path the entire time.
Jane leaves the denial face.
And then Jerome left for that exact reason. And we haven't seen him since.
Or the lights from the next town over.
Rome?
Jerome worked in the mini mall marketplace, ran the teriyaki booth there. It's great food, but when he left, he said he'd seek help and return ASAP.
Maybe he was just scared.
No way, not Jerome. He's no runner. I don't care what they say.
Father Clifford looks away, avoiding Doc Hoffman's attention.
Phew!
Jane looks over at the altar. Around it comes a young boy named Theo. He wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Nate!
Jane strides over. Theo ducks behind the altar. Father Clifford follows Jane.
Jane,
It's my son!
Go away.
Jane, this is Theo. We found him on the 4th day of darkness, riding his bike by the marketplace.
But he's my son!
I don't got him, Mom. Leave me alone, lady.
Now, Theo's been adopted several times throughout his life.
My son was put up for adoption years ago. How old are you?
8.
You're the same age as my Nate.
That means closer.
But you're not Nate at all.
Theo needs some space, and he seems to be developing a cold.
Jane sighs, sits on the front pew. Theo peeks at her.
I still don't understand a damn thing.
Language.
Sorry. Wow, I'm starving.
Father Clifford hands her a bag of chips. Jane grabs the bag, rips it open, takes a few chips, munches.
I'll be in my office if anyone needs me.
Father Clifford exits to the back. Theo sits by a kid's bike, leaning against the wall. Jane tears her eyes away from him.
Get some shut-eye if you can. These church walls are stronger than they look.
My son is out there.
You got bags under your eyes. Have you slept?
I woke up at 2:12.
I don't need a medical degree to prescribe some sleep, not with the look you have about you.
For real?
Jane sighs, pulls a sleeping bag and pillow over, crawls inside.
When will you get more food?
Pretty soon.
I'm coming with you.
He raises his brow, sits down on a pew.
I could use the help, but it'll be very dangerous.
Nate's probably hiding under a bed, scared out of his mind.
I guess that settles it. Do you know where he is?
No.
I don't know of any kids named Nate living on the main road, but if someone was with him, he'd be at the Belmont Hotel. Right where we'll be going, actually.
I want to go.
This isn't a game, Theo. Father Clifford would be worried sick.
Oh.
Doc Hoffman lays on the pew, grabs a pillow.
Okay. Just a little sleep.
Sleep well.
Jane curls up, closes her eyes. She breathes, relaxes, falls asleep. Exterior restaurant night. Dream. The place just closed. Jane, in a supervisor's uniform, takes a cash till from a register. She scans the empty restaurant. She's the only one. Sighs. Hefts the cash till, walks around the counter. A shadowy figure walks by the window outside, stops to stare at her. She smiles, a weak gesture. The doors blow open. Thick fog pours in. Jane drops the cash till. Now she's on. Exterior Fog Street, night, dream. She's frozen in the middle of the street. Fog whirls around her. Wind whistle. The shadowy figure walks toward her in the distance, a slow saunter. Jane faces a light in fear, but she can't move her feet.
You can't keep a man in a cage. You lot put me away, but I'll be back.
The shadowy figure stops just before his features become clear. A cleaver hand rests on Jane's shoulder from behind. Whistle.
Interior local church, night. Jane's eyes fly open. Hoffman munches on the same bag of chips.
Sorry, never meant to startle you.
Just a bad dream.
I took stock of our food, so I'll be visiting the marketplace in a few minutes.
Okay, how long was I asleep?
A few hours? Not enough.
Nah,
Jane stands, rubs her eyes. She spots Theo curled up by his bike.
Father Clifford will look after Theo while we're scavenging.
good.
Exterior, church backlot, night. Hoffman carries his bow with Jane in tow.
What do you make of Father Clifford?
Well, he's letting us stay in his church. Why?
He's a man of conviction. Can't fault him for that. I can't be too sure, but I would wager he falls into the Jerome's a runner camp.
So what really happened?
Jerome's a brave guy. Like I said before, not a runner. Do you have a weapon? I don't have any guns, but a whack from a crowbar might make some monsters think twice.
Monsters? Like more than the cleaver guy?
I think I saw some sort of large serpent, but with this fog, it's too fucking hard to tell. I can't tell if I'm hearing monster sounds from outside the church or the wind, or maybe it's my mind playing tricks on me.
They arrive at an old SUV.
Crowbar's in the back seat. If you see something better lying around, feel free.
My ex-husband would hunt with guns.
Haven't shot a gun since my dad's .22 rifle, and that was 45 years ago. Is Nate's father around?
He said he was deer hunting over the phone, but that's not far away. Damn it, with no bars, I can't call him. Let's just go.
They get in the SUV. Hoffman turns the engine on. Exterior, town of Fog, Main Street, night. Hoffman drives slow through small town Americana under starless night. Mist permeates every cubic foot of air. The lone street light flickers a few times. Jane examines the passing sights. Hasn't she seen this before?
Only reason I'm taking it slow is so they don't hear us. I hate snakes.
Jane strains to better see the passing sights. A confused look washes over her face.
First time in fog?
Yeah. What brought you here?
Got disbarred from practicing medicine. Unfortunate story. Not worth talking about.
Exterior, Belmont Motel, continuous. The SUV pulls into the parking lot of the dark building. No signs of life. Hoffman exits the vehicle with the bow at the ready. Jane with her crowbar by her side. Both wear backpacks now.
Any idea where to start, Doc?
Front office. That door right there. They'll have keys.
They approach the door. Interior, motel office, continuous. Jane pries the door open with the crowbar. She takes her phone out. Hoffman gives her a flashlight, says nothing. She concedes her phone for it.
Thanks.
Dust lies on every surface. Their lights find a wall of keys.
Wish I knew which room she's in.
Needle in a haystack, just with monsters.
Jane shines her light on a wall of keys. Scanning, she finds a hole in the key collection. She points at this. Room 105. Later, the flashlight beams cut through the pitch black, barely reach the hall's end. They follow the light through the dust-laden air, arrive at the first bank of doors. Jane takes one side, Hoffman the other, hands poised to knock. Knocks. They freeze. Nothing. Then, crash. Hoffman aims his bow down the hall. Jane grips the crowbar. More silence, too much tension. Something moves on the floor. Hoffman fires. Jane's light illuminates an impaled rat squirming. Jane looks over at Hoffman, her eyes asking for a reason.
Scared me shitless. Sorry.
Language.
The rat squirms for the last time. Jane collects herself. She knocks on the first door, her side of the hall. Hoffman follows suit. Jane's fifth door gives way to her knock. Hoffman stops, comes to her side. Jane nods, gives the door a light push. It creaks open.
Interior room 105, continuous. A narrow hallway leads to a bedroom door, shut tight. Then to a living room, barely seen but lit by a TV light. Jane and Hoffman enter the living room, a sparse affair with a chair in front of an HD TV. On the TV, a blue signal lost screen. Jane thumbs the light switch. Nothing.
No power.
Jane checks the kitchen, finds a whiskey bottle. She grabs it, stares at it.
Mom would never buy this brand.
She picks the remote from the counter, points it at the TV.
What are you doing?
There's no internet or phone signal, but maybe TV news still works.
She presses the remote. Nothing. Another button. The screen changes to Doc and Jane on the TV monitor stare out at themselves, a mirror image, until they notice the chair. On the TV monitor has a newborn baby with an uncut umbilical cord and covered in afterbirth. It sleeps contentedly on the cushioned seat. Jane shines her light on the real seat. Nothing.
What the fuck?
Hoffman and Jane look back at the screen. The baby's eyes, open way too wide, stare right at them. It laughs, but no sounds come from the TV.
Nate?
Sick joke. Has to be.
The TV blips display the same image. The baby's now a dead woman's body, minus head.
Mom?
What?
I can't be here anymore.
It's just a TV screen. Nothing's there.
I don't want to see that.
Turn it off.
Jane clicks the remote, but nothing changes. She clicks again. Nothing. Doc Hoffman takes the remote, tries. He moves around to the back of the TV. He yanks the cord. Nothing changes. On the screen, the beheaded woman stands, walks off screen.
That could be a feed from another room.
Let's just go. Nate can't be here.
The two hurry past the bedroom door.
Jane.
They freeze, stare at the door, jaws on the floor. Thud. The door lock turns. Jane and Hoffman dash out of the room. Interior, motel hallway, continues. They enter the hall. Hoffman slams the door shut. The door runs down the hall to the office. The door creaks open. Ahead, the office door flies open. It's the faceless creature. Jane and Hoffman nearly fall as they stop. Hoffman fires his bow at the creature. It whistles, lumbers at them. Jane and Hoffman turn around, run back. They stop when a female creature, a twisted form of femininity with a wolf's snout, emerges from room 105. It leers at them. Between a rock and a hard place, Hoffman and Jane assess both threats. Is this the end? The female monster snarls. The faceless creature charges at them. Hoffman throws himself at Jane against the wall, misses the faceless creature by a hairbreadth. The two creatures tangle on the floor. The faceless creature pins the female creature. The female creature bites the other. It recoils. Interior motel office continues. Jane and Hoffman barge into the office. Jane searches the room.
What are you doing?
Trapping that fucker once and for all. Basement key.
He catches on.
Interior, motel hallway, continuous. The faceless creature grunts and trudges down the hall, cleavers coated with fresh blood. An arrow flies, sticks in its face. It whistles. Hoffman runs out of the office.
Hey!
The creature lumbers after his voice. Jane cowers in the office. Interior, motel basement entrance continuous. Hoffman runs to the basement door, turns the key in the lock. The faceless creature enters the hall, takes an arrow in the gut. Hoffman flings the door open, knocks an arrow. The creature sprints, slices at his arm. He yells, falls into the dark basement, The creature follows. Jane sneaks up to the door, stares into the abyssal black.
I can't move.
Jane trembles. She closes, turns the lock, puts her ear to the door. Nothing. Thud. The door rattles, thumps with an inhuman force. Jane staggers, runs. Exterior alleyway, night. Jane runs out of the motel. The night is still misty, cold. She turns to the motel exit, pulls the door handle. It's locked. She tries the key. Nothing. Jane flings the key into the air, a futile attempt to stymie frustration. She scrunches her head, holds the bridge of her nose. The child's laugh. Her eyes wander to an open door, the back entrance to somewhere in the marketplace. She walks through the entrance, sticks her head in. Interior, Asian food booth, continuous. Jane stands in the kitchen of the food booth. She sniffs again, follows the scent to the front. Interior marketplace, continuous. The food booth and the marketplace are dilapidated and dirty, but someone prepared a meal, a plate of teriyaki. Jane glances around, smiles. She walks out front, sits on a stool, food still steaming.
Nate.
Flashback home video. Avery records Jane eating teriyaki with a baby bump. She eyes the camera, smirks, takes a bite.
Back to present day. She grabs up the fork. It vanishes. So does the teriyaki.
What the hell?
She's alone. Dismounts the stool. But where to now? Jane spots the exit, starts on her way. Something near the exit. Jane squints, casts her light forward. A giant serpent lies dormant, wrapped around a kiosk, its eyes closed on its phallic head. Jane covers her mouth, gazes around. She trots forward, scanning the floor for anything that might wake the beast. Psst. Jane freezes. Theo pokes his head over a counter, munching on some French fries. He beckons. Jane sneaks over, follows him around the counter. He has a backpack and a plate of fries and ketchup.
Theo, there's a creature right over there.
It's sleeping.
You want to wake it up? It'll eat us.
He eats another fry, but his face spells unease.
Just keep your voice down, please. What are you doing out here?
Father Clifford got really boring.
Jesus Christ, it isn't safe. Boring is way better than dead. Come on.
You're not my mom.
Now is not the time to argue.
Plenty of moms say that.
What do you mean, plenty of moms?
I go to a new home and the mom is always mean.
The chord is struck. Time for new tactics. She pats his shoulder.
I'm sorry they were mean. I wouldn't want my son raised like that. Actually, he's your age. Looks just like you.
Where is he?
Somewhere nearby.
Oh,
He could be a new friend.
grown-ups suck.
Let's go find him.
Can I finish my fries?
Crash! Both jump in their skin and peek over the counter. The serpent uncoils from the kiosk, slithers in the opposite direction. Jane pulls Theo to her. They sneak around the counter, make for the exit. The big snake stops. Jane freezes, holds Theo close. The serpent's phallic head rises, eyes them.
Run, now.
Jane and Theo sprint to the exit. The serpent gives chase.
Exterior marketplace lot continues. Jane and Theo burst out of the exit. Theo retrieves his bike. Jane runs. Theo pedals. The snake slithers out of the marketplace. Shh. Jane and Theo finds themselves on Town of Fog, Main Street. Jane takes in the sight, awed by the familiarity.
Doc will shoot the monster!
Jane runs alongside Theo. They pass the motel.
Theo, Doc's dead.
Theo screeches to a halt. Jane almost falls.
We need to go. Theo!
Theo thinks for 1 second. He powers off, leaves Jane in the dust. Jane runs after him. The serpent closes in on her, rears its phallic head. The fangs come out. A Molotov cocktail flies through the air, hits the creature's head, bursts into flames. Jane stumbles away from the snake. The serpent hisses, thrashes.
Get back.
Jane's back up. Rachel's lights another cocktail, hurls it at the muster. The creature slithers off as it burns in the black, misty air. The flames vanish in the air. The lone street lights flicker a few times. Zzz, zzz. Jane collapses to her knees, shaking.
That baby's gonna burn, burn, burn. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Jane looks around, searching.
I think we're safe.
Theo's not.
I don't know anyone named Theo.
8-year-old boy, rides a bike, adopted kid.
Huh. Bet you must be scared.
That rings a bell.
But Theo's just wandering around this town. He'll be monster food.
Monster food? It's just a funny thing to say. Listen, my house is right at the end of the street. It's called Toluca House. The basement could survive a bomb. Nothing can get in, plenty of food, enough for anyone, even Theo.
But I need to find him.
I thought Nate was your son.
But Theo's in danger.
Jane looks flustered, can't respond.
I'm sorry, but if you want to come over at any point, my door will be open for you.
Thank you. But I've got to get to the church.
Oh, if that's what you want. Stay safe and don't forget my offer.
I won't.
Rachel and Jane walk off in opposite directions. Exterior local church, night. Jane arrives at the church grounds, unchanged since she left. Faint light bleeds from the windows. Jane raises her hand to knock. Stops. She produces her phone, pulls up instant messaging. She types. On screen, Avery, please help. In fog, in danger. She clicks send. Jane knocks on the church door.
Interior, local church, night. Father Clifford, belagered, lets Jane in. He closes the door behind her, locks it.
I didn't hear Hoffman's car in the back lot.
Jane shakes her head, sits on a pew.
Did he park somewhere else?
She avoids his eyes.
I see.
I didn't know what to do.
He kneels by her.
And what of your mother?
I don't know.
Father Clifford catches on.
And Theo is missing?
He didn't want me around.
Father Clifford arises, meanders to the altar.
You've lost both Theo and Hoffman. You led Hoffman into the motel and Theo is in mortal danger.
He rode away on his bike. I couldn't keep up.
He's 8 years old, and you said you're a mother to an 8-year-old just like him.
Jane is speechless.
Our food stash is not grown.
Why would you?
It is beyond frustrating that you barge into our story of survival and upend everything.
But it was your job to watch over Theo. You let him get out.
I made one mistake, and I should note that none of this occurred until your recent arrival.
Silence.
Do you know what I saw in that motel? I saw a fucking creature crawl on another creature. And it reminds me of some fucked up shit. My father
Jane.
Lost his hand in an accident. I was 10 at the time. And he took it out on my mother one day. Want to guess how well that went down?
I don't see the
I don't
relevance.
think you could ever fathom what I've been through. And you sure as hell don't know what being a parent means.
Please, don't make this harder for either of us.
Glaring back and forth, neither concede.
Fine. Go jerk off or whatever you do.
Jane marches out. Exterior, local church, night. Jane huffs away from the church, finds herself in the gas station parking lot. She dumps the backpack in her car, moves to the driver's seat, slams her hands on the steering wheel. She stares out into the night, finds herself gazing at the gas station store. Her forehead scrunches. Bad headache returns. She stares down the never-ending darkness. Theo rides his bike down across the street. Jane rolls down the window.
Theo, what are you doing?
Riding my bike, crazy lady.
Get in. You're not safe.
I want to go to that church.
I'm not going there.
Theo shivers in the cold night air.
It's warm in the car.
Theo walks his bike to the car. Jane pops the trunk and he stows it. He hops in the front passenger seat. Theo sneezes as he puts his seatbelt on.
I have tissues in the back.
Okay.
Jane procures a box of tissues. Theo nabs a few. He blows.
I think I got a cold.
I'll turn the heat up. Theo, if you couldn't hide in a church or in the motel, where would you hide in this town?
The house?
Yes, but I can't look through each one.
There's a water plant.
A water plant?
Yeah, I saw a car going there.
What kind of car?
Gray, I think. Smaller car.
Sounds like my mother's car. Put your seatbelt on. Now I need some help.
I didn't know grown-ups needed help.
Well, you live in Fog.
Yeah.
Do you know where the water treatment plant is?
That way.
He points. Jane drives out of the parking lot. Interior, exterior, Jane's car. Continuous.
And I just keep driving?
Yep.
Jane drives on down the road.
Theo, did you ever know your real mother?
No.
I ran into someone when I arrived here, a woman who looked like me.
Okay.
Her name was Rachel.
Don't know Rachel.
Do you know a place, a home named Toluca House?
No.
Hmm.
What's that?
Jane slows the car to a stop. Nothing but dark in the nighttime. Whistle. The faceless creature appears in the fog behind a tree.
Monster!
Jane nearly veers off the road. She clasps her left hand over Theo's mouth, kills the engine. The monster stumbles towards them, arrow still lodged in its body. Jane covers her mouth with her other hand. The monster runs into the car, shakes it. The cleavers thud on the engine hood. A bead of sweat runs down Jane's nose. Her nose twitches. She fights to remain still. The monster moves to Theo's door. It puts the proboscis on the glass. Theo's eyes are as wide as can be. The proboscis withdraws into the orifice on the creature's face. It tests the glass with its cleavers. Tap, tap, tap. 5 unbearable seconds pass. Crack! The monster slams one cleaver against the glass, cracks it. The monster reels, whistles. It trudges around the back of the car, disappears into the night.
Stay quiet. Whispers only.
Jane removes her hands. Theo gasps for air.
What you gonna do?
Wait.
Unbearable. Jane inserts the key into the ignition. The night air remains unmoved. She starts the engine. Nothing moves outside. She releases the parking brake. Crack! The monster slams a cleaver into the rear window, smashes on the trunk. Jane slams on the pedal. The car lurches forward, speeds off into the night. The creature saunters after them, disappears in the dark. Interior, Jane's car, continuous. Jane races down the road at full speed.
That fucking thing nearly got us.
Nobody will tell me what fucking means.
Don't say that. It's a bad word.
But why'd you say it?
Because that monster is terrifying. But it's also blind. We just need to stay silent when it's around. Can you do that?
I don't know.
Well, we don't really have a choice.
Exterior, water treatment plant, night. The treatment plant lies amid a clearing of forest trees, everything dark save for an outdoor light in the parking lot. Jane parks the car, kills the engine, leaves the car. She spots a gray car parked on the other side of the lot, dark and unattended. Theo opens his door.
Theo,
I get to be a hero too.
get in the car. I'll lock it.
No.
Just stay in the car. I'll be back. Promise.
But that monster was chasing us.
Let's play the quiet game.
What's that?
It's when you don't say a word or make a noise. Not until I get back. If you do that, I'll get you as much candy as you want from the convenience store in town. Good?
Theo relents, gets in the car.
I'll be back as soon as I can. Stay put.
Jane gathers her backpack, enters the treatment plant. Theo watches her disappear in the building, huffs. Interior, water treatment reception area, continuous. Jane sweeps the entrance with her light, crowbar in her other hand. It's an abandoned reception office. Other than being pitch black, there's nothing out of the ordinary.
Nate, are you out there?
No one answers. Interior, water treatment plant, educational tour, continuous. Jane wanders into an educational section, an exhibit designed for young members of the public to learn.
Have you ever
Jane startles, freezes, realizes it's recording.
wondered where all the cool, clean, clear drinking water from your faucet comes from? In the town of Fog, it all starts here.
Jane walks around a few cheesy exhibits.
First, we pump well water from the local forest, and then comes the flocculants. What are flocculants? Flocculants are...
The speakle fizzles out, static. Then,
Jane,
Mom?
follow my voice, Angel.
Jane continues with renewed urgency. She reaches a door and enters into
Interior, side guard, day. Jane strides into side guard room, a memory made manifest. She beholds herself and Avery, 3 years younger. They listen to Jane's mother, 60, with some grace and signs of cigarette use, sitting on a bed in plain clothes.
And every night he comes to visit my bedside, just like old times.
Mom, he'll never hurt us again.
Of course, dear.
Hey, you did the best you could. He's in for 50. He'll never get out. But yeah, he should die.
Oh, Avery, I so do adore your picturesque family.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Jane glares daggers at him.
Like Avery said, he's never getting out. He might as well be dead.
Naivety is a dangerous thing, dear.
Jane grimaces, leaves out the door she came through.
Interior, sedimentation room, continuous. She's in the treatment plant again. Jane flashes her light across a large collection of equipment and machinery. No one else.
Deeper, my dear.
Jane checks every corner. Interior, locker room, night. Jane enters the women's locker room. No signs of life at all.
Child, I'm waiting for you.
Mom, where are you?
A light in the showers catch her attention.
Warmer.
Jane trots into the bank of showers. On a misplaced table is a hospital incubator, and in the incubator, a human head. Jane's light reveals the face. Her mother, smiling. Jane's mouth drops open. Her knees give way. She kneels before she falls.
Found me.
The face blinks.
Turn around, my sweet.
Jane stares at the head, too shocked.
Please turn around, dear.
Jane turns around, slow. A tall, shadowy mass stands in the doorway. A familiar mass. A whistle. Jane screams. The faceless creature hurtles towards her. She dodges into the shower. The creature overshoots, tumbles into the incubator. Jane drops her crowbar, scrams. The creature regains its stance.
Get after that unholy strumpet, you degenerate.
The creature whistles, gives chase.
Interior, sedimentation room, continuous. Jane flees through the room, trips over something. It's a human leg, a whistle in the darkness. Jane staggers up, runs. Interior, water treatment plant educational tour, continues. Jane dodges a dead body, then halts. It's a dead cop. She kneels down, sees a Beretta in the holster, grabs it. Whistle. The faceless creature storms in the area. It kicks the dead cop, hacks at it with the cleavers.
That's not her, useless idiot.
The creature stands, its proboscis protrudes, sniffs the air. Interior water treatment reception area continues. The creature smashes through the doors, enters a desolate dark room. The cleavers scratch the reception desk. The creature trots around the desk, feels the surroundings with its cleavers. Items fall and break. The door to the restroom is ajar. The creature trudges to the center of the room. Creak. The monster turns. It faces the barrel of a loaded 9. Bang! Then monster whistles, cringes from the bullet. Jane runs from the restroom. The monster swings at her, misses by an inch. Jane sidesteps, shoots twice. The monster's belly bleeds. It still stands. Jane runs behind the desk. The monster follows. She puts 2 shots in its head. The creature takes 2 swings, misses. Jane shoots again. The creature whistles, trudges around the desk, and Jane moves away. She crawls around the desk. The creature swings wildly, leans over the desk. Its face appears directly over Jane. She jams the pistol under its chin. Bang! 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 Blood splatters down on Jane. The creature whimpers, slumps over the desk. Jane stands up, faces the creature down. It swings at her, knocks her down, moans. Jane scrambles up, rams the pistol in its head, shoots twice. Silence. Jane pokes it with her gun. No movement. Silence. Jane steps back, doesn't notice the shadowy figure from her dream standing behind her. He holds an infant. Jane lowers the pistol and he vanishes into thin air with an infant.
Exterior, water treatment plant, night. Jane exits the building, exhausted, stops in her tracks. A man snoops around her car door.
Hey,
Father Clifford raises his head.
that's my car, and Theo's in there.
Well, the front door was wide open when I got here. Why didn't you bring him back to my church?
Because you're a douchebag. I'm not trusting you with anything.
Jane walks to the hood of her car, glances through the windshield. No one.
His bike is in the trunk.
The trunk was empty, was open and empty.
Shit.
A missing child. He won't live another hour unless I find him.
I don't have time for this.
Jane rounds the car's fender, sees Father Clifford's bat. Jane backs up. No one moves. Father Clifford takes 1 step towards Jane.
Father?
Jane?
He takes another step. His eyes turn an inhuman color.
Stop!
She raises her gun at him, but he keeps walking. Bang! Jane trembles, looks down at his corpse, lies on the ground, bloody wound in his face. Jane lowers her pistol, stares at her hands. Did she mean to? She kneels by Father Clifford's corpse, examines the wound. Father Clifford's arm shoots up, grabs Jane's shoulders. She screams, shoots him in the chest. His arm slumps. Jane staggers to her feet, runs to her car, starts the engine, and pulls out of the lot. Clifford's body twitches, bleeds profusely.
Interior, Jane's car, night. Jane practices a breathing exercise, tries to calm herself. The world around her is black and misty as ever. She spots something in the road. A body. Exterior, road to the forest continues. Jane slows the car, matches eyes with a man, wearing used military BDUS. He moans.
Oh, God. Sprained ankle. Please, get me back to the house.
Jane looks up, spots an old house behind some trees up the dirty driveway, a 2-story affair. She locks the parking brake, kills the engine. She stoops next to him, helps him up on his good foot.
I don't lift much.
You're good. See, I got crutches right there.
Moments later, they arrive at the old house porch. The man takes his crutch, props himself up on his own.
Thanks, lady.
Glad I could help.
Jane glances back in the direction of the water plant. The man notices.
You leave something behind in your car?
No.
Yeah, this endless nighttime's got me scared too. You probably want a place to hide.
Well, I'd like to stay on the move.
Is it working?
Actually, I'm looking for someone.
Who?
A kid, about 8 years old. He should be riding a bike to get around.
I did see a kid on a bike. I'll tell you about it inside.
Can't you just tell me here?
Jane's stomach growls.
I got a lot of food. It'll go bad soon. And it's safe in that house.
If you say so, but I'll be going once I've had my fill. No offense.
Nah, it's cool. I get it. Everything's gone to shit.
Interior old house living room continuous. The old house better days are long gone. A tent lies pitched in the middle of the room. Some stashes of food in bags and coolers. Lanterns adorn the furniture.
Not your house, I guess.
No.
Jane sits down on the musty couch, her holstered pistol visible under her coat's hem.
I found it.
You know how to use it?
Mm-hmm.
Better than a chainsaw. Probably.
No, only killers use those. Or a baseball bat. You said you saw a kid?
I did. Looked like Theo.
You know Theo?
Of course. Only kid in town. He lived with his mom. Don't know her name, but they went to the marketplace. Sometimes I'd see them.
Did she look like me?
Maybe. Let me get you some grub.
Man sits, opens a cooler, procures some wrapped food. He puts the wrapped food on a party plate, hands it to her. Jane gladly takes the plate, then a fork from the man, unwraps the food to reveal teriyaki.
I've seen this food before.
Reason people like me in this town. Or they did.
What do you mean?
Some asshole found out I was discharged from the army. Someone, I don't know who, said I was a coward. Ran from the fight, they said.
Jane eats some, the dots connect.
Wait, you worked at the teriyaki booth.
Yeah.
I was there maybe an hour ago.
Damn. This is getting to be a weird set of nights.
But there was food. It vanished when I tried to eat it.
Okay.
Really, that's what happened.
Well, it wasn't my famous teriyaki. Everyone knows I'm the only source for miles.
Oh,
They eat in silence.
what's your name?
Jerome,
I thought you split town.
I'm still here, in the flesh.
Doc Hoffman told me you went missing.
Huh. I didn't know he was alive.
He's dead. I'm sorry.
Shit. He was a good dude. But hold on. He told you I split?
Well, he said you disappeared.
I just went to my booth to get some cooking supplies, food.
Silence. The tension is palpable.
Why didn't you go back to the others at the church?
Jerome rises, heads to the window, peeks out.
I don't see anybody.
He slinks away from the window. Jane reaches for the pistol. Silence.
I'll check the back door.
Okay, just don't run.
Jerome hobbles away on the crutch. She peeks the window. The outside looks the same, completely devoid of visitors. Where? Jane spins around. Jerome stands in the dining room archway, no crutches, holding a chainsaw.
I ain't no goddamn runner.
Jane draws the pistol. Jerome charges, chainsaw overhead. Jane fumbles the safety, dodges the chainsaw. Momentum drives the chainsaw deep into the couch. Jane jumps up, runs into the kitchen. She turns to face Jerome, levels the pistol at him, switches the safety off. No Jerome. The chainsaw sounds reverberates through the house, impossible to pinpoint. Jerome leaps from the hallway, swings the chainsaw over Jane's head. James fires, hits nothing, backs up against the counter, aims the empty gun at Jerome. She shoots. Nothing happens. Jerome raises the chainsaw overhead, brings it down at her. Jane dodges, drops the gun in the process. She runs around Jerome. He heads to the hallway. She yanks the dining room doorknob. Knocked. Jerome turns to her. Jane dashes upstairs. Interior, second floor foyer. Night. Jerome pants, trudges up the stairs with a chainsaw. Only one lantern gives paltry light up here. The foyer gives him 3 doors. The bathroom door is ajar. Jerome kicks it in. Nothing. The lantern winks off, almost black. The chainsaw revs. Jerome yells. The lantern light returns. Jerome kneels with a chainsaw, grasps his right eye. Jane stands defiant with a drumstick in one hand, a baseball bat in the other. Jerome stands. Jane drops the drumstick, readies the bat. Jerome swings the chainsaw around. Jane parries with a wood bat. The chainsaw digs into the bat. Wood shavings fly. Jane's body slams Jerome, sends them both to the floor. Jerome drops the chainsaw. He grabs at Jane's throat, squeezes. Jane wheezes, frails his arms. She grabs the chainsaw. Jane brings the chainsaw to Jerome's skull, cuts it. He gives up his grip on her, screams. Jane immediately staggers back up. Jerome crawls towards the stairs. Jane runs the chainsaw through both hamstrings. Blood splatters. Jerome screams. Jane kills the chainsaw. Kitchen. Jane trudges into the kitchen, drops the chainsaw, retrieves a pistol. She fishes in her pocket for a magazine, reloads, deadly quiet. Jane glances at the hallway, raises the pistol. She creeps forward, aims up into the dark. Nothing.
Thou shalt not kill!
Father Clifford, bloody, charges out of the living room. Jane fires again. He falls on the floor. Jane, pistol at the ready, examine his wounds. He's breathing. She turns and climbs up the stairs. Later, Jane dons an apron, stares down at the squirming bodies of Father Clifford and Jerome. Jerome glares up at her. His eyes are different, in human color. She grabs the chainsaw, revs it.
You just want your fucking kid.
She freezes. What did he just say?
You did see him.
He chuckles.
She won't have it that way. And that lout won't ever help you.
Revs the chainsaw.
Where's my son?
His name's Theo. And you'll never find him. Ah!
Exterior road to the forest, night. Jane shivers, cries in disgust as she wipes blood off her clothes. She opens the driver's side door, crawls in, and grabs the steering wheel. She looks back at the old house. It's gone. Jane's eyes grow wide. The old house is just a lot of grass in the dark, rolling in the mist. She looks down at her clothing. The blood's gone. Crying gives way to shock, then fear. She guns the engine, pulls onto the road. Several seconds of driving pass. Thunk! The car lurches. Jane brakes, shocked. She rolls the window down, stares down at an arm lying underneath her car. It wears familiar clothing. She flings the door open, exits the car, leans down to see Doc Hoffman lying there, very still and body twisted.
Hoffman?
Hoffman's eyes open. Jane's jaw drops.
You're alive?
How did I escape? And you left me.
His body stiffens. She reaches her hand to his wrist, stops just short of touch. A moan, but Hoffman remains still. Jane re-enters her car, closes the door. She gulps. She drives forward, rear wheels lurching over Hoffman's body. Exterior, outskirts of fog, continuous. Jane drives toward the town proper. A few lights in the town shimmer through the dark fog. The gas station has a new car parked in front. A Jeep. A familiar Jeep.
Interior, gas station continues. Jane pulls into the gas station right behind the Jeep. She scans the environs, notices a blood trail at the end of the parking lot, leading into the night.
Jane, get inside.
Jane turns, sees Avery, dressed for deer hunting, waving her over from inside the gas station store. She exits her car, mystified.
It's coming. Get in here.
Now Jane's confused. Avery reveals his hunting rifle, scares her. Hiss. Jane turns, the phallic serpent. The scales have darkened like charcoal. Jane draws her pistol, fires into his face. A little blood spurts, but it continues towards her. Jane backpedals, runs behind the Jeep. Bang! Avery works the bolt on his rifle. The creature hisses, makes for the store. Avery fires again. The serpent smashes its head into the broken doors of the store. Avery falls down, stares into its eyes. Jane approaches, dumps pistol rounds into the serpent. The creature rears its head, faces her head on. The slide looks back. The snake reels, smashes into the doors again. Jane drops the empty pistol, trudges over to Avery. She reaches out.
What are you doing here?
I tried to call like 10 times, so I just up and came here.
He struggles to his feet on his own.
Is it just me, or does that thing look like a...
Yeah, it does look like a...
Like what?
Theo walks out of the store, puzzled by this conversation.
Theo! I told you to stay in the car.
I'm okay. Is it dead?
Yeah, he was trying to get a snack when I found him.
Are you really Avery?
Avery is taken aback. Theo shrinks, backs up.
Jane, it's me.
All the people I've run into turned into demons. Except Theo.
Well, hold on. You know me. We had some really good times together. I don't have horns.
Shivers.
Let's just hide in the store.
Theo shivers.
Fine, but I'm gonna be extra careful.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
They enter, Jane moving with cautions. Interior gas station store, night. The trio huddles behind the counter on a sleeping roll. Theo munches on candy.
How do you know each other?
Awkward silence.
We
were married.
So stuff grown-ups do.
Yes, that's what grown-ups do. When you get older, if you want.
So you're Avery.
That'd be me.
She is a kid who looks like me. And your mom was in the water plant.
What's this about your mom, Jane?
She frowns.
Outside. Stay here, eat your candy.
Why?
Grown-up talk.
Exterior gas station, later. Avery's a gap. Jane waits for his response.
Holy crap!
Right?
Your mom's dead and the priest guy wasn't even human?
Jerome wasn't either. And maybe even Hoffman.
Who and who?
I'm not talking about it.
If they're still out there, we have to do something.
They won't bother us.
Are you sure, Jane?
Yeah, but that head in the water treatment plant, that might not have been Mom.
I hope not. Jesus Christ, she better be okay.
Exactly. But now we have to get out of here. We have to find Nate, and I'm not going to leave Theo to die.
He seems to trust me.
Doesn't he look like Nate?
I guess. Last time I saw a pic of Nate, he was 5. And those attacks grow so fast. Maybe it's just a coincidence.
And then there's Rachel.
Someone else I don't know.
Rachel. She said she had a home. She called it Toluca House, a safe haven. I could hold up there if I wanted.
I mean, I guess we can try it, but can we just leave and take Theo with us?
Nate's still out there. I know it.
Show me this text you got from Mom.
Jane procures her phone, shows Avery the text.
It's her number.
Maybe someone here in Fog sent it to you.
Jane pockets her phone.
I don't know. Nothing makes sense.
Maybe we should just run away.
We?
Well, if we work together, we stand a better chance.
Some things just don't work out, Avery.
Don't need to tell me twice.
Theo does trust you, so I guess I'll have to think it over.
Hey,
They turn to Theo, poking his head out of the door.
the bathroom's locked.
Okay, let me help. When I'm ready, I'm taking Theo, checking out Toluca House, and if that's a bust, I'm leaving this town in my rear view.
You can't forget Nate. Maybe he's with Rachel.
We'll check with her, and if Nate's not there...
She scrunches her forehead.
Headache?
Ever since I woke up at the hotel, these migraines keep bugging me.
There's Tylenol on one aisle.
I know.
Interior, gas station storage, night. Jane leads Theo to the bathroom door. Theo stares at her.
Are you my mom?
Jane stops in her tracks, taken aback.
No. Why would you ask that?
I don't know. But I wish you were my mom.
Aw.
I think I saw someone like you.
You mean Rachel?
No.
Let's get you into the bathroom then.
Jane leads Theo to the restroom door. Yanked on the handle. It gives way.
See, it was just stuck. Go on in.
Why were you arguing?
Nate,
I'm Theo.
Hi, sorry. Theo, growing up can be incredibly tough. And for me, the tough times keep on coming. But I can fix that. As long as I find my Nate, I can make my world whole again.
Will you leave me?
No, I promise. When we get out of this fog world, I'll go straight to the police and they'll help me take care of you.
Okay.
Theo pokes his head in, enters, pulls the door shut. Jane leans against the wall, sighs, exhausted. She gazes at the office, only a bit of blood splatter visible.
Ow.
She scrunches her forehead, puts a hand on it. Radio static. Jane leans into the gas station. She strolls to the counter, alone in the store. She examines the radio, powered on.
Mom, help me.
Nate?
Jane trots, crouches in front of the radio.
Please don't hurt me.
The radio turns itself off. Jane gazes around. No one's there. She glances outside. Avery is drinking water by his car, oblivious to everything in the store. Bzzz. Jane retrieves her phone from her coat, swipes the screen open. It's an unmarked message and an ultrasound photo. Jane's more confused than anything. On screen, Jane, are you there? R. Rachel? J. Yep. R. How did you get my number? Question mark. J. I know where Nate is. R. Where? J. The radio shrieks static. Jane drops her phone. The phone vibrates across the floor. Shouldn't be possible. Jane collapses, covers her ears, then her eyes fly open.
Flashback, the truth. Rainy home video footage of a very happy, giddy Jane bounces into view of the camera.
So, someone just got the best news ever.
Avery pokes his head in the frame.
And what would that be, Jane?
Behold.
Jane holds up the ultrasound from before.
Oh my God, this could be the best thing that's ever happened to us. And I hope it's a boy.
Well, I hope it's a girl.
Do you now?
Jane and Avery hug. The vision fizzles out. Another vision. Flashes and flickers to life. Jane, with a seizable baby bump, holds a whiskey bottle.
This piss water will get us both in trouble.
Avery, inebriated, reaches for the whiskey, misses.
We're gonna have a fucking baby. And look at you. Can't stop spending your paycheck on liquor.
She splashes whiskey at him. He lurches up.
Don't take my shit.
I'd never take your crap drink with a baby in me.
Lying bitch.
Avery smacks the whiskey out of Jane's hand. Jane flips him up, struts away.
We ain't done.
She trips on an ottoman, falls, hard, on a glass table. The vision fizzles out. The vision flickers back on. A doctor hauls up an ultrasound, shakes his head. Avery and Jane weep.
Back to present day. Jane lies on her side. Silent tears flow from her closed eyes. She can't hold it in anymore. She weeps. Jane doesn't notice the bathroom door open or the footsteps. She composes herself, opens her eyes.
Nate.
Jane manages to push herself upright. She walks to the bathroom, sees the open door. Her eyes grow. The bathroom is empty.
Theo?
Exterior, gas station, night. Jane runs out of the store, searches the night.
Theo! Theo!
No one answers. Jane sees Avery's car. No sign of anyone else.
Avery! Where are you?
Mom's back in the store. Interior, gas station store continuous. Jane slams her elbows on the front counter, her breath coming in a ragged gasp. She slides down the side of the counter, sits on the floor. Her ears perk up. Bzz. Jane stands. Bzz. She runs to the gas station storage. Jane recovers her phone, swipes the screen on. She checks her text messages. On screen. Like my little trip down memory lane. You know where to find me. R. Jane's visits morphs from despair and frustration to determined fury. At the counter, Jane grabs her pistol from the counter, loads it, examines Avery's hunting rifle, realizes it's out of ammo. She lays it down, rifles through the meager supplies. Nothing useful. Outside, Jane rushes to Avery's Jeep, crawls in the back. She finds a real prize, a pump shotgun and a box of shells. Later, Jane is strapped with firepower, ready to take on the world. She enters her car, guns the engine. Nothing. She exits, hikes through the fog, passes the dead serpent.
Here, town of fog, Main Street continues. Jane strides down the main street through an exact relieving of her dream. The lone street light flickers a few times. She passes the church, glances at it, not sure how to feel. The lights are still lit. She passes. Huffman's SUV, still parked at Belmont Hotel. Jane grimaces, shrugs off regret of his death. She steps on some singed concrete, a memento of Rachel's intervention. Exterior, residential street, night. Small homes flank each other's side of the street, maintaining only an outline in the misty air. Jane knows she's seen this before. Her eyes betray this fear. She marches on. The road ends. A home. Grander than the other looms where the asphalt stops. Only this home remains. A sign on the front porch reads Toluca House. The front door creaks open. An inky void darker than the night greets Jane. She mounts the step of the porch.
Jane!
Jane freezes. Metal dragging on wood echoes in the darkness. Avery emerges from the dark doorstep, clad in a brown ragged robe. Under the robe, 7 feet of metal chain drags behind. Jane steps back, awed and confused by the transformation.
Avery?
You have to run.
It's Rachel. She's not who I thought she was.
Neither are you.
What did you just say?
He was my son too.
Bomb dropped. Jane can't respond.
I wanted to be a father. Who had the most whiskey that day? Who was pregnant? Because it wasn't me.
Stop!
You want Nate, but would Nate even want you after what you did? You failed.
Don't say that.
Jane clicks the safety off the shotgun. Avery blinks as if snapped out of a daze.
You gotta run. She'll kill you.
What's wrong with you, Avery?
Avery starts to twitch, walks with an awkward gait down the stairs. Jane backs up, lowers the shotgun.
Avery?
The robe falls off him, revealing Avery's naked form. The chain hooks to his groin, where his genitals should be.
Help me.
He leaps off the ground, floats as high as Jane's head, moans. Jane's backpedals a bit, fires a warning shot in the air. No effect. She pumps the shotgun, aims for his leg. Bang! His foot falls off. Avery moans louder. Floats towards her. The chain levitates, reaches out for Jane. She fires again. A chunk separates from his hip.
Avery, stop!
Jane runs away. The chain catches up. It snaps at her back, trips her up. She reels around, fires without aiming, misses. The chain wraps around the shotgun's barrel, wrestles with Jane for control. Jane pulls harder, but the chain starts to win. She racks the pump, fires. The pellets miss Avery's face. Avery reaches down for Jane's face.
Please stop!
Avery moans, floats down to her throat. Jane has no choice. She racks the shotgun, maneuvers the muzzle to where the chain meets his crotch. She looks away. Bang! The chain explodes. Blood splatters on Jane. She falls on her back. Avery screams. Inhumanly loud, like a siren, he drops like a rock, lands at Jane's feet, lies still. Jane sits up, stares at Avery's corpse. A child's cry. Jane snaps back.
Theo?
The empty black of the house menaces her from the front door. Jane stands, pumps a shotgun, loads more shells, marches to the front door. She gazes back at Avery. He hasn't moved. Jane rips her eyes away, wipes blood off with her sleeve. She mounts the step of the porch. She reveals her phone, turns flashlight mode on. The light can't penetrate the black interior of the house, just like the dream. She walks right up to the edge of the doorframe, tries to examine the inside. Nothing but the void answers her. She enters Toluca House.
The door closes on its own volition, panting from somewhere. only the LED light visible in the black. Screech. Not 10 feet ahead of Jane, two pieces of metal trapdoor part, revealing a staircase with dim light. Still the only other light source. Jane kills the phone's light, stows it. She aims the shotgun from her waist, descends the stairs. In the stairway, Jane continues down the stone stairway, her path lit by dim blue lights ensconced on either wall. The stairway curves gradually out of sight. Jane arrives in a tall hallway with an incredibly high, unseen ceiling. Jane gulps, readies herself. This is it. Jane takes a tentative first step, stops, then hurries along.
What is up, all you late night cowboys? I'm DJ Mason, and tonight we'll be turning up the grunge. You 90s kids are gonna love this one.
Jane stops, aims the shotgun around, trying to determine the source of the sound. Hospital background noise. She clues in, nods. Jane strides down the hallway, holds back her feelings. An alcove contains a large glass jar filled with liquid. Jane hurries to the glass jar. It contains a fetus. Fear betrays her eyes. The eyes open, but no umbilical cord feeds it. The fetus smiles, floats toward her. She touches the jar. The fetus' eyes turn red, pop into puffs of blood. It floats away, dead still. Jane grimaces, tears herself away, continues her march. Fog erupts from a vent in the wall. Jane swipes it away. The shadowy figure stands 50 feet down the hall. Jane gasps, raises the shotgun. Jane glares at the shadowy figure. Another burst of fog erupts from the vent. He's gone. Jane puffs air in her mouth, controls her breathing. She marches on. Court gavel thunders.
Guilty. Defendant shall face 50 years in prison without parole.
Jane continues onward. A doorway appears in the low light.
Oh my God. He's gone, Avery.
Sobbing.
Interior cinema continues. The hallway enters into a cinema. Jane stares up at the screen displaying a hospital room. Jane cries profusely on a hospital bed. Avery sits next to her, forlorn as can be. Avery reaches out to touch her arm. She swats him away. Deep breath.
Talk to Dr. Rush. He says that you could still have another kid or kids.
How dare you?
Hey, I'm just saying.
Oh, you. It's all about you, big man of the house. What about me? What about him? Maybe it isn't about who makes more money or who can get pregnant. Maybe I can fend for myself. Maybe you can quit drinking.
Look, you had some too. Don't fucking lie.
Jane grabs the directory book, throws it at Avery. He winces.
Get out! Get out!
Avery strides out of the room. Jane sits, incensed and crying.
In the cinema, Jane manages to stand. She steadies herself, breathes.
Blast from the past. Am I right or am I right, 90s kids? Anywho, a break before the next set.
The screen rises, reveals a double doorway. Jane steps up to the door. On one door, the caricature of a woman stands trapped in a circle, and on the other, the same woman breaks free from an identical circle. Jane holds the shotgun up and pushes the doors open with her offhand. They lurch open, groaning on from their own weight. Interior, Rachel's sanctum, continuous. Nothing but total darkness beyond the doors. Jane enters. The doors slam shut. 100 feet out, spotlight turns on and illuminates a large circle on the stone floor. Jane spots something.
Nate!
Jane runs to the lit area of the sanctum, passes a crib and a few children's toys. She arrives at a hospital bed. Theo lies sound asleep. He's hooked to oxygen tanks. Jane rests the shotgun against the bed, checks on Theo.
Nate, it's me. Don't worry, sweetie. I'm here.
I am here.
Jane freezes. She turns her head, spots Rachel's outline from the direction of the entrance. Jane grabs the shotgun.
Poor Theo. His illness keeps worsening. Alas, a mother who is not a mother wanders into town, clings to him as if he was hers.
Rachel wanders forward, rests her elbows on the crib. She procures a teddy bear from the blankets. She gazes up at Jane.
You're the most tenacious morsel I've ever had, no doubt about it. My web captures an unsuspecting soul. I give myself and my minions little makeovers, and with enough baking, I can make a feast of flies.
Jane shoots a quick look at Theo.
You've hurt him.
Pardon? I've done nothing to little Theo. Not my fault you wandered into my web. I think what he needs is his mother. Now, who do you think is fit for that role?
He's my son.
Is he? His name is Theo, isn't it?
You were Bianca the whole time.
My reputation precedes me.
Jane scrunches her forehead.
Bad headache? Funny how forgetful mortals become in my web.
Why? Why are you hurting me?
How far would you go to protect what's yours, Jane? I know I'd do anything for my baby Theo.
I'd do anything for Nate.
You're not the only one who'd destroy lives for your offspring. Mortals can't undo the horrors they commit, but in my world, I can bring back what I lost. I just need some sustenance from you. Guilt and trauma are like bread and butter, because nothing feeds guilt more than a mirror image.
Give me my son. I fucked up, but he's my baby.
So self-righteous. Maybe you don't deserve to be a mom.
Bang! Buckshot hits Rachel on the shoulder, sticks in her skin. She stumbles back, laughs.
Oh, wow. Is that all you have to give me, Jane?
Jane racks the pump, approaches Rachel. Rachel throws the teddy bear at Jane. It ignites midair. Jane dodges the flaming bear. It explodes with blinding light. Jane drops to one knee, squint, tries to see. Rachel's vanished.
Try harder, mortal.
Rachel flies down from the dark, grabs the shotgun. She rises up, but Jane holds on. Jane's fingers slip. She falls to the stone floor, yelps as she lands. Laughter from the dark above. Jane stands, winces. She draws the pistol. Brass checks it. She aims the pistol about. Rachel swoops down, minus the shotgun. She grabs at Jane's hair. Jane fires at her, hits her in the jaw. Rachel tumbles to the ground. Jane puts 2 rounds into her back, steps toward her. Rachel snarls, stands. She contorts. A bulge appears on her belly. Jane stares, takes an instinctive few steps back. A clawed arm busts out of her clothing, covered in a film of clear liquid. Jane fires, clips a claw off the arm. Rachel screams out of pain and lament.
You hurt him.
Jane backpedals as Rachel strides to her. She shoots twice. Rachel shoves Jane off her feet, takes flight. Jane struggles to her feet, winces. Rachel lands by the crib, grabs another toy and throws it. It bursts into flames, burns Jane's arm. She fires again, misses, runs at Rachel. Rachel takes flight, lands on Jane. Rachel's claws tears into Jane's belly. She screams, shoots Rachel in the upper lip, kips her off. Rachel staggers back, grabs her face. Rachel takes her bloody hands away, reveals bare flesh. Jane tries to sit up, fails. Her belly bleeds. Rachel strides over to Jane, grabs her pistol, ejects the magazine.
Weapons from your world highlight the importance of a thick skin.
She smacks Jane with the pistol, drops it on the floor. Jane crawls away. Rachel grabs her feet. She drags Jane back, flips her over. Rachel's claw returns to Jane's bleeding flesh. Jane grabs the discarded pistol. Rachel laughs. Jane grabs Rachel's head, jams the gun into her mouth.
Forgot something.
Bang! Rachel staggers back, falls over. Blood drools from her mouth. Jane sits up, aims, shoots. Click. She winces in pain, turns over. Theo remains asleep on the hospital bed. Jane drags her bleeding body to his side, forces herself up on the bed.
I'm sorry.
She strokes his forehead. His eyes open.
Hi, Mom.
My God. Oh,
My God, are you okay?
Maybe.
rumbling. From somewhere in the ceiling, a piece of stone falls from the dark, smashes 10 feet away. Jane scoops up Theo, runs.
Don't cry.
More stone pieces fall from the ceiling, crash on the floor. Rachel's remains twitch. Jane, Theo in her arms, speeds up into the dark.
Interior, fog, street, night. Small town Americana in the Pacific Northwest under the veil of a starless night. Mist permeates every cubic foot of air. The lone street light flickers. The shadow of a woman trudges down the center of the barren road through the fog. A child's cry pierces the silence. The entire town rumbles. The buildings shake. The woman breaks into a run, flees by the marketplace. The wind picks up, fog swirls around. The woman stumbles, falls, picks herself up, leaves some blood on the ground. She arrives at the local church. Smoke and flickering light below from cracked windows. At the gas station, the station collapses. The woman changes course, sprints down the road. Ahead, nothing but a black void. Thunder. The woman vanishes down the dark road. Fires spurt up around the town. The shaking intensifies. An inhuman wail pierces the night. Interior, cheap motel room, night. The room and furnishings haven't been updated in years. Jane's eyes fly open. She sits up, rubs them. Her pajamas are Goodwill grade, faded from use. Something red stains them. Where Rachel clawed her. She reaches for her phone, notes the time of the alarm clock. 2:12 a.m.
Stupid headache. What the hell?
Interior, motel room, bathroom, continues. Jane feels her body underneath the red stains, finds no injuries. She splashes sink water on her face, wipes the dry cloth over her visage. She meets her own eyes in the mirror, stares, blinks. A baby's cry. Jane turns back. Could it be?
Nate? Is that you?
She rushes out of the bathroom. Cheap motel room. Jane enters, beholds a baby carrier on the bed. A baby sleeps inside. She rushes to him, picks up the beautiful child, cradles him.
My baby. I'll never leave you.
She closes her eyes, smiles amidst tears, sits on the bed. Zzz, zzz. Jane stows the baby in the carrier. It coos. Adorable. Jane naps her phone, powers on the screen. On screen. I'll be back for you soon, little Theo. R. She screams in horror. The baby eyes open, display an inhuman color. It smiles. Fade to black.
All right, read. Thank you guys so much. I was on pins and needles throughout. All right, we're going to go ahead and do a quick round of actor intros and then open up for informal hangouts if people want to stick around after, or people can bow out. I'll just do alphabetical like last time. So, Georgina, over to you.
Hi. I couldn't quite hear what you said, but it faded in and out.
Oh, apologies. It must be a connection on my side. This is just a time for actors to share what they're working on, a little bit more about what you're excited about. And if there's any websites or things you want folks to link to, you can drop them in chat.
Well, if anybody wants any info, just put it in Messenger in the chat and I will definitely hit you up with all my contact info. I just wrapped on a trailer for a superhero flick that got submitted to a film festival. Other than that, I'm just plugging away at learning and growing.
Thank you so much. All right, Duncan.
Hey there, I'm still Duncan Starbosco. Yeah, if any of y'all need an actor, I'm available. I'm with Big Fish Northwest Talent. And currently I'm just working on some other independent projects. So
Michael?
Yeah, anybody wanting to find out a little bit more about me or what I do can visit my website, thecrawlspace.com. I can drop that in chat. I've recently signed with Big Fish as well, so I've just been getting out on the audition trail. And I'm looking forward to, in May, we're going to be shooting with Kristen Raven. We're going to be doing one of her scripts. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And then just being out on the audition trail.
Thank you, Michael. Please do drop that in chat. That's pretty awesome. That's great. And Tessie.
Well, I'm currently working on some independent projects and continuously working on my TV series, my fantasy TV series. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity. If you want to know any, I will put my website in the chat. And thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the opportunity, Jeff.
Thanks, Tessie. All right, Antonio.
Hello, hi. I am Antonio Mitchell. I am actually just finishing up getting my MFA in acting from the University of Washington. So we are getting ready to do launch and showcase and all of that wonderful stuff. Thank you very much. I will pop my website into the chat. That way you can kind of keep up with what's going on with me there. And also, as I have told Sky, I am currently, as soon as I get off this call, I am headed to the airport because I got to go to New York for a callback. So hopefully all goes well, but yeah, that's where I'm at. So a wonderful opportunity. I always enjoy doing these readings, and hopefully this won't be the last.
Thank you, Antonio. You're going to be in Tessie's neighborhood.
I heard a voice.
I was saying good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Break a leg.
Yeah. Great. And you'll be in Tessie's neighborhood, which is awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hope I get to work with you someday in like real life. It was fantastic.
Thank you. Likewise for all of you. It'll happen, I'm sure.
All right, Dean.
Yeah, hi. I'm Dean T. Moody, voice actor, and I've just finished my third audiobook in as many months, so I'm keeping busy. And a video game here a couple of weeks ago, finished a major video game reboot. So that'll be coming out here pretty soon. In the meantime, I'm going to be working as a theater manager for the Seattle International Film Festival next month. So if any of you go to any SIF screenings, look for me. I'll be there and around, and I'm looking forward to that a whole bunch. I'm put my website address inside the chat as of now, and come check me out. And it was great working with all of you. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, Dean. And finally, Gabriella.
Hello. So you can find me on Facebook or the Gram. And I'm currently updating my film reel, so I will get that posted whenever that's done. And just finished up an audiobook and just auditioning. And this was really fun. So I was happy to be here again.
Well, thank you again so much, actors and Jeff, for sharing your script with us tonight. I think with that, we're going to conclude the recording portion of the table read. And if folks need to drop off or go on to the next thing, that's fine. If folks want to stay on and hang out a bit, that's great too. You're welcome. And I just want to do one more. I don't know if folks are willing to come off mute, but if you are, it'd be awesome if we just did a big round of applause to the actors for the read.
Bravo. Well done.